rise for the pledge. Call this meeting to order. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. We got a recording secretary today.
Well, I hear keeping busy outside there.
There she is.
Morning. Call the meeting to order. We've already done the flag salute. Call the meeting to order of the Board of County Commissioners. Today is February 5th, 2018, and it's 9:01 in the morning. I would open the floor to any citizens desiring to be heard. Hearing none, we'll move on to item 4, consideration of possible action on approving minutes of January 31st, 2018.
Make the motion.
I'll second Mike's motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Consideration and possible action on approving detention transportation claim for December 2017 in the amount of $1,167.34.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Consideration and possible action on approving a resolution establishing speed limit on Simpson Lane and Ward Road. We talked about this at the last meeting, and we decided that we needed a resolution on that, and I understand Troy's maybe got me a resolution for that. I do have a graphic here that shows the placement of the signs, the actual speed limit signs and the warning signs. We had a discussion with the sheriff's office and their deputies, and based on their recommendations, this is what we've decided to do. Damon, we appreciate your help on that.
I'll move with approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Consideration and possible action on approving a resolution appointing receiving officers for various accounts.
I have one for the district attorney's office.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve receiving officer. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 8, consideration and possible action on approving resolutions appointing requisitioning officers for various accounts.
I only have one for the district attorney's office.
It's not the same person, is it?
It was like deja vu.
Yeah.
Make the motion.
I'll second Mike's motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve requisitioning officer. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Number 9, consideration and possible action on consent agenda.
I have one transfer. You guys sign up here. I have no transfers from previous fiscal years. Cash balance.
Right, you got it, dude. Gotta roll that horse around, huh?
Well, this one here, renewed.
Just wants to get my sheriff saved the day for me. There he is. And a spare.
Always be prepared.
Sheriff, them guys get that like you wanted it?
Yes, sir. Did a good job. Thank you.
Did you dig a trench for him?
Yep. 6 foot deep.
Whatever. 6 foot deep.
3 foot wide. 8 feet long.
No. Yes, I've done that.
You know, I tried to get a phone number from him, and he replied back, got you some donuts.
Donut locker.
Well, I'll take it off. And he was needing a little pad built. He said it pays in donuts. I ain't seen no donuts.
I gotta wait till payday.
That's why I had to do the very same thing. I can relate to that. It really ain't fair that you get 2 for 1 at the donut shop.
No, I don't.
They don't give frequent buyer miles over there?
No.
Yeah.
And I gotta get in line like everybody else.
Really? They don't just shove you right on through?
No.
Pat you down and all that?
That one's got 2, so make sure you catch both, please.
Oh, I missed that. Never know.
Set in on consent agenda
Oh
items.
gosh, no, there's blankets.
Just trying to keep the excess tax on schedule time.
sticking it on.
Like the munch.
You had a shark sticking in eye? Me too. Don't feel good.
Mine was a gold stick, but it still hurt.
Well, I was wearing those goggles on my motorcycle, my dirt bike, but it was still not fun.
I don't know if it was sharp or not, but it sure felt sharp.
I think a BB would feel sharp. Or a ball bearing, even.
Oh, ain't nothing but the best that chair. See this ink pen that boy used?
Yeah, I bought it at Walmart.
On the upper shelf.
I didn't know Walmart sold Mont Blanc pens now.
Oh, these are not black. Ooh. They don't. I wish they did though.
Says Logan County Health Department on it.
Okay, is that it?
That's it for consent.
Okay.
Motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda passes without objection. All right, item number 10, any citizen desiring to be heard? Hearing none, move on to item 11. Comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners.
I have nothing.
Nope. I have a couple items. First, I want to thank Troy for going with me down to the ACO meeting. We discussed some legislation concerning sending the SERB funds to the CEDs now instead of directly to the county. It's amazing that the people that were pushed back on sending SERB funds directly to the counties last year and wanted them to go to the CEDs are now pushing back on them going to the CEDs. So I'm not sure what they want yet, but we're going to try and figure that out. Again, appreciate Troy for helping out with that. One other thing to bring the board up to date, y'all asked me to represent the board in an action with a vendor, the lawsuit we were having. We did that, and the issue's been taken care of. The issue's been settled with the vendor, and at no cost to the county. I wanted to hold the taxpayers harmless, and I paid the entire bill out of my own pocket. And I know we had some discussions early on about not waiting long enough to where this got real expensive for the county. I was empathetic and sympathetic to that, and decided to go ahead and settle it and move on. The next thing I've got is I've been notified by the city that they're again looking at changing the city's ambulance service district back to coincide with the EMS district, so EMS 1. What I've done here, Troy, if you'd like a copy of that. What I've done here is I talked to the county assessor, and we were able to do an estimate based on 2017 on what 3 mills looks like by school district, right? And so we've got 3 EMS districts in the county. And so when we if we get to discussing this, it's my understanding that in order to have a countywide EMS, which is what's kind of has been proposed in the past, we could expand one, and there's only really one that is in the county in its entirety, and that's EMS I-1 in the middle, that's green. That's the Guthrie School District. So that one could be expanded to a county-wide EMS district. However, to do that, the people that live in EMS 2 and the people that live in EMS 89 would have to petition the commissioners, Board of Commissioners, to put on the ballot to dissolve those two EMSs. Those two ballots would have to pass before any action could be taken on an affirmative vote to expand EMS 1 to include the whole county. I hope that's not too confusing, but it's kind of a mess. So the people that live in those districts would have to petition the board to do away with their EMS, the ones that are already there, and then vote on expanding the county. So the second page that I've got here, I went through and looked at the current ambulance districts because they're not necessarily the same as their EMS boundaries. An ambulance, I talked to the State Department of Health folks, and ambulance districts, their operational ambulance districts are sometimes much larger, so they can provide services outside of an EMS boundary. Guthrie is like that. Miller EMS is like that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 ambulance districts that's licensed to operate inside the county right now. Up north is Life EMS, Perry EMS. Miller has Crescent and Cashin area down to the South County. IMSA has a couple of spots in the South County, and then Guthrie has all of the Coyle School District, and there's one other little school district over there that generates $396 a year of 3 mills. So it's, anyway, if it's my understanding if Guthrie withdraws back to the EMS boundaries, it looks like to me like maybe Life EMS could go fill in this. It's this little top block up here that would become available. But at that point, it would be the responsibility of the Board of Commissioners to update our plan that we have, our EMS plan we have on file with the state. And so in order to do that, we need to contact ambulance providers that were agreeable to take those areas on and update our plan accordingly. Mike, it looks like the majority of the area that would be left vacant would be over in the Coyle area, over in your area. And so one of the things that, we, or at least I'd ask from you, is if you knew of any ambulance services that were over in the Payne County area or Lincoln County area that could come over. I know there's some Life Flights that are available, flight subscriptions out of Stillwater, that kind of stuff, but we'll need something on our plan that would be available to those folks.
The discussion in the past has been going to like Mulhall and the town of Marshall and Langston and Coyle about doing a fee on their utilities.
Yes, sir.
And that would subsidize EMS 1 to cover, over in the Coyle, Langston area, and the Mulhall, Orlando, and then I guess the town of Marshall would subsidize Miller EMS out of Cashin.
Well, the only problem with that is that CDC doesn't cover Langston and Coyle. That's OU. And so we have, you know, you're not gonna be able to do like what do you call it, anyhow, fee on your electric bill, surcharge, in order to be able to get a subscription for,
But if the town does it on their utilities,
right?
I mean, you can go that route.
Yeah. Town could do it on their utilities, I guess.
That would be the simplest. I think if you try to hold all them elections, I think you're gonna have everyone so confused, they don't know if they're coming or going.
Oh, I agree.
I'm
It's
pretty
a
confused
convoluted.
about it, and I've been studying on it a while. Another option probably wouldn't work, but maybe Guthrie and EMS1 wanted to contract with Miller, and Miller might run outside the boundaries.
Well, and that was the other thing that Mr. Anderson from, I think it's Anderson, Andrews, whatever the young fellow's name is that's in charge of the EMS at the state. He told me that the EMS districts are basically funding districts to pay for the base infrastructure to provide ambulance services, and then they're able to contract outside of their EMS districts with other service providers if they want to run outside and do that kind of stuff. So they have the capability to do that, and to do just what you said would be to contract with Miller to take up the difference.
But, I mean, I don't blame the city of Guthrie. I mean, they're covering Mulhall, Orlando, because I don't think Perry services Orlando all that great.
Right.
And they've been servicing Langston and Coyle forever. And the people inside of EMS1 is paying for that service for the people outside of that service area.
Well, I agree. We don't want to. This ain't about blame. And,
Sure.
And they've decided that, you know, budgetarily they can't continue to afford to do what they're doing because they're, for some reason, not able to bill for their services, or not collect. They're able to bill for their services, but they're not collecting what the cost is. So that's a business decision that the city has to make, and we need to respect that. My only concern is that when, or if that happens, that we're able to update our plan with the state to satisfy that requirement, one, and to provide or to help people find reasonable ambulance service in the county.
But even if they did go to the prescription deal out of each little town, I don't think there'd be enough revenue to do anything. I mean,
Oh, I agree with you. If you look at the 3 mills, I mean, the property tax is an indicator. Property tax collection is an indicator of the wealth of the, you know, that part of the county. If you've got, you know, a third of the county that is only 3 mills, you're only turning up $50,000, then, you know, it's, you're not, those people aren't going to be able to pay a $1,000 ambulance bill either.
right. But I mean, like if you went off their utilities, half the people in Marshall probably have their own well in their yard. They don't run off city water.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just really don't know a good answer. But I guess we'll beat it around the bush.
Anyway, like I said, the city of Guthrie's considering that. They said something about this next week they were going to have a meeting to talk about it, I think. And, so based on what comes out of that, you know, we may or may not need to update our plan.
Did you talk to Langston about that money?
I haven't. But I don't think they got enough utilities out there
They don't.
to make Guthrie say, oh yeah, well heck, we'll do it.
Really don't.
I mean, I don't know how much more money they need. But
Carl Scott.
maybe we need to put together a committee to start doing some studies on this and go from there.
Well, yeah, if it becomes an issue, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
All right.
sounds good.
Any other comments, announcements, or questions about the Board of Commissioners? Entertain a motion on item 12.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously.